Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you a web app that I built. This is something that I built for myself to help me create web apps. It's sort of like taking the process of creating web apps and making it 10 times easier. Let me show you how it works by just putting an idea here. We'll start with something really basic. Let's say an invoice app, and then just type in a general idea of what the app's going to be used for. All right, so I have an invoice app, and the idea is invoice generation for a freelancer or a small business to send to their clients. Again, very rough. Doesn't matter if they're typos. I correct some of them if I find it, but don't worry too much about being very precise with your idea. Just brain dump here. All right, so the niche is going to be business. And for the format, I'm going to be choosing single file HTML app. And the reason why I do this is because this app is something that I can create and run on my browser. I don't have to worry about deploying the app. I don't have to worry about back-end cloud storage. I don't have to worry about anything like that. You just create the app, you download it, you run it on your browser, and it works automatically. The only downside to this is that you can't transfer it from one device to another or one browser to another, meaning that all of the data that's stored for the app is browser specific and device specific, right? Because it's not connected to the cloud, there is no back end. Every time you need to use that app, you have to use it on that browser, you have to use it on that device. So that might work for certain use cases, but for other use cases that might not work. But at least for now, until there's an easier way to do this, because there are ways to do this, but I'm not a coder. I am a beginner when it comes to these types of projects. So I am sticking with this format when it comes to creating these apps until the process gets easier or until I learn more about how to do all the complicated stuff. All right, so for now, we're sticking with that. And that's all we need to do. The next thing we'll do is just click Refine Idea and Autofill. When I click this button, it's going to go through all the sections and fill it out with information. And I could always come back and change it if I don't like it. Let's see what it created for us. All right, so we have a refined idea. And then here's some structural requirements. So the target user, the problem it's solving, output, tabs, extra note. So if I don't want it to be minimalist design, I can delete that, right? So this is just giving you some ideas that you can get started with. And of course, you can add, remove, delete, make any changes. So now that we've done this first half, we can focus on the second half. The first part of the second half is analysis. This is going to review everything we've entered and see, well, is this a good idea, right? Does it make sense to do this? So let's run analysis. Now this has done the analysis. All right, so let's say I'm okay with everything. I will go ahead and generate the prompt. We have our prompt here, which we can copy. All right, so I'm going to copy this and open the Gemini window and generate the app there. All right, so here's this Gemini window. I have Canvas activated and make sure this is thinking with Pro. So we're good to go. Click submit. All right, and then I want to show you what it looks like to build an app here in Google AI Studio. Like I said, I often use this or build it in just a regular chat box with Gemini. They're using the same engine to build the app, so usually the output is similar. But I feel like this is really designed, at least with the last updates, to help you with vibe coding. And when you go here, it says vibe code Gen AI app. So if you click here, we could just type in the prompt and click build. So this is probably going to take maybe 5 minutes. So I'll come back later on and check it out. Okay, so here is the second version. We have a dashboard, right? So you can visualize all your invoices. Here's where you create your invoices, add your clients, your products, and then you have a settings tab, right? So you don't have to enter your company name all the time and your address, and a help tab with more information. This looks really good. I do want to see what it looks like with some examples. So my first prompt that I'm going to add here, okay, to modify this app is to ask it to add placeholder information, meaning realistic examples for this app. All right, so here's my prompt. I'm saying add some realistic data so that I can view all the features of this app. So that's all I'm doing here. Nothing really fancy. Click submit. This is Google AI Studio, and we use the exact same prompts, which is why they look similar, right? This has a dashboard, we have invoices, we have place for client, product and services, and settings. So very, very similar to the other one that we just created. I'm going to do the same thing. Just a prompt saying add some realistic placeholder data so I can demo the app. We'll send this and see what happens. Okay, so back here, here's the updated version. We have our dashboard now showing some examples, which is nice. I'm going to go to the invoice area so I can pull one of them up. So if I click edit, here's what it looks like. And here's a live preview of the invoice. So we can test out the download button to see if it works. And before I download it, I want to say this is something that I have struggled with some of the apps that I have created. A lot of my apps end up creating products that are either PNGs or PDF downloads. And something that it struggles with is the download PDF. I've always had to reiterate and reprompt before it creates a good PDF download. So let's see what it does. Now, because it creates a live preview that looks good doesn't necessarily mean it translates to a downloadable PDF, but let's see. So click on download PDF. All right, so here is what it looks like. It looks really good. I do have this extra page that we have to probably get rid of, but so far so good. All right, here we have a list of clients. And one thing that it's missing is an edit. So you see how we can delete clients, but we can edit it. So if we wanted to change the contact name or the email address, we'll have to add it all over again. So this is something you can easily fix. You just have to prompt it to add an edit button, just like it has with the invoice, and it will do so. All right, and here we have some products. Again, the same thing. They should have edit button next to the deletes. And the other thing I would probably add for this to be useful is to add a size. So if we go back here, it's not clear if this is US letter or this is A4, which is the more international paper size, but this is something that you can add. So you can prompt it to add paper selection, or if you already know you're going to be using A4, just make sure it defaults to A4, and you could prompt it to add that to the settings tab. So all you have to do is set it once and you don't have to worry about it at all. All right, so this looks pretty good. If you wanted to start this from scratch, you would have to go through several versions of the prompt going back and forth. But with this, we have a few additional steps to add to this and it would be ready to use. Something else I just thought about is it's defaulting to dollar. So that might be something you want to include in your original prompt, or just add that to the other changes you wanted to make. So for example, we can say change the currency to euro and add A4 paper size. As a matter of fact, let me do that. So while it's running, we can check out the other one. All right, so here is my additional tweak. Add A4 and US letter paper selection and currency. So we want that in the settings tab. And then for the clients and products, so this tab and this tab, I wanted to have an edit button next to the delete so we can edit information we have already entered. So click enter. All right, so back here is what this looks like. I'm going to make this full screen so we can just focus on the app by itself. We have the dashboard with information here. All right, so pretty clean, good looking dashboard. Here's our invoice. Here are some examples. And we have print, edit, and delete already, which is nice. So first I'll click on edit. Everything looks like it works the way it's supposed to. Save and print. All right, so here is an example of something that's not working. The print button is not working, so this we need to fix. Go to our clients. We can edit that, which is great. Product and services, that is also editable. If we go here to the settings tab, this actually adds the currency and the tax rate automatically, which is nice. So we don't have to prompt it to do that. So this looks really good. The only thing that I would fix with this would be to figure out what's working with the print, because it is not working. And then maybe add the A4 and US letter selection, so we have that as an option in case we need to send invoices to people from all over the world. All right, so back here, looks like it's done with the edits. Let's check it out to see if everything we requested was added. So the first is the paper size selection. That'll be in the settings tab. So all right, so here you can see that we can select our currency and we can change the paper size to what we want. So that looks good. And the next one is the edit buttons, which we wanted here in the client section. So we have our edit button now. We can edit our clients, and it should be the same for products. Yes, we can edit the product. So you can see that it's pretty good with making changes, and you don't have to add one change at a time. So if I need to make several small changes, I'll do it all in one prompt. So I'm not prompting it 3 different times just to make all these changes. But if it's a complicated change, I wouldn't combine it this way. I would do one at a time so I can go back just in case something doesn't work the way I want it. So I hope this video was helpful. I really would like to know what your thoughts are about this. Do you think this is a good tool? Do you think it's something that will be helpful to you? For me, it has been very helpful just for the tools alone that I need to create for my personal life and my business. It's definitely taking, my prompts to the next level and just saved me a lot of time going back and forth with these tools to create the perfect app. So let me know what your thoughts are. And if you have ideas, we can actually use your ideas to generate in the Idea Studio, right? And then create a prompt that we can use to create an app that might work for you or somebody else. So let me know in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. And if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe and turn on the notification bell, because those types of things go a long way to help my channel. My channel is really small and I'm hoping to take it to the next level for 2026. So please go ahead and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And share this video with someone else that might find this useful. And then come back and check out all of the prompts and web apps that we create using this tool. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.